and changed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So Newera, the fitted cap company,
Yeah.
collab with the Negro Leagues to distribute hats with the Negro Leagues on them with red, black, and green colors.
Mm-hmm.
You're very good in baseball. You're very knowledgeable on the Negro Leagues. I'm to a little extent, but I know you really know baseball.
Mm-hmm.
When I first showed you the graphic of the Negro Leagues collaborating with Newera Fitted, collaborating with the Negro Leagues, what did you think about it?
My whole thing is who's owning this imprint, which is Newera clearly. How did it get signed over to them? And where's the money going? Where's the money? And they're doing this for Black History Month, correct?
On Black History Month. So it just came out.
So when those caps get sold and they get pushed and they get promoted and they spend all that money, where is that money going? That's the first thing I'm trying to figure out. Where is the money going? Is it going to the families of the Negro League players off the backs of those Negro League players that have created that brand that you are now profiting off of?
And for the younger
audience, and I'm wondering,
audience,
did any family members have to sign up? Like, I'm trying to figure it out, because there's no reports and nothing about it,
just seen the graphic. We don't know the full details. And for the younger audience who may not be familiar, can you just do a brief synopsis on the Negro Leagues and what it means to us in our culture?
There was a time at one point when, where blacks couldn't play baseball at all. The most famous one thing is Jackie Robinson, who played in Negro Leagues. And then he came up and, with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and they won a World Series. And he transcended because he was the first person of color to break the color barrier. To kind of give you more of how important that is, there would be no Gary Sheffield. There would be no, what's the hottest player right now? There would be no Spanish baseball players. There would be none of that. Because that color barrier had to be broken, and Jackie Robinson was the first to do it. Now, even though the numbers are low, a lot back then, a lot of the players that the teams were getting were from the Negro Leagues. If you go look, the one famous one, how ill he was Satchel Paige.
Played all the way up into the 60s.
Yeah, that dude was illmatic. So, I mean, just to kind of, and that he wasn't the only one that could. I don't think that era is not being talked about or mentioned a lot. I think that's the sad part. I think that the illmatic part about it is that now I could look at the positive from New Era that this is going to help push and promote it, but are we only going to do this for the month? Are you going to help do like some type of promotion when it comes to Major League Baseball start and play? So after February, while everybody's down there in spring training camp, are you gonna at some point? Because I forgot there's a day that they have that they push and promote when the color barrier was broken in Major League Baseball. I wonder what New Era is gonna do, and what part they're gonna play in that.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder these questions I'm asking right now. I just wonder, when is this all gonna happen? So to kind of give you the history lesson, they are now profiting off of something. A league that kind of fell apart after we integrated, and that's another conversation for another day. But at the same time, it was a very profitable league. It was very independent, and I think that, let me be honest when I'm saying this, and it's probably gonna not be a popular opinion. Had they just stuck it out and said, "We're not going over there," I mean, what can you say though for the money that they was offering? But had they stuck it out, that league was catching steam. We was going to the games. We weren't going over there. We were going to the games. Why are we going to go over here and sit in the back when we can sit right here, play on this field? I sometimes, wish, I'm not going to get into that. Let me just say this. At the end of the day.
Spit it out, man.
Well, I think sometimes integration was a good thing, but in some ways it was a bad thing. It was one of the worst things that could have happened in some of the things. And I think as far as with team sports and where we drop the ball, this is on a bigger level. You listening about the Negro Leagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
The players and everything, I don't think they're celebrated. I don't remember seeing any real big celebrations. Now, I'm pretty sure when you drop this clip, they'll be like, oh, here's a link, and it'll show some, I don't know. I haven't really seen it. But at the end of the day, I think where we drop the ball, when you look at that, there's no people of color that own any major teams. So when we were playing and we had to own our own teams in the Negro Leagues, maybe that's what we should have been thinking about before going over there collecting that check. But to get back to the topic, I hope that New Era is giving money or donating money to the families other Negro Leagues that was involved in this. Because I'm trying to figure out, what they're doing. Like, maybe their heart's in the right place, but I'm trying to figure out on the back end what they're doing. And that needs to be explained. That does need to be explained.
So that's the topic on that's the segment about New Era.
Just as a side note, can I say something?
Go ahead.
I wonder, are they gonna, since they're doing Negro Leagues, are they behind the HBCU games, baseball games? Because I don't really see anybody coming out of that and getting drafted. I mean, since you want to be all about the Negro Leagues and Black History Month.
That's a good point. Because there's some baseball teams at HBCU schools.
In other words, I don't want to hear about 29 days of you pushing something to sell. I want to see you actually do the work longer than 29 days. So unless you're donating money to those families from those players from that league, I do not care. And I will not push and promote it. And we will find out one way or another.